What's up, everybody? Normally I would do this series videoing myself, but my phone has not been really working camera wise. It's really shaky, really odd. I'll have to get that checked out. So at least the first video in this series is going to be played through Madden 18. I know it's not college, but they don't have any college games out where I can record like this. Anyways, here's week 1 of the college football season. I hope you guys enjoy, and let's see how close I can get to it. Week 1 of the college football season is finally here. I'm so excited. Tennessee's got a new coach. Several other SEC teams have new coaches. There's no telling what's going to happen this year. So, let's get started. First game on my list, Texas A&M versus Northwestern State. They're opening up against a cupcake team this year. They shouldn't have any problem with that. I've got Texas A&M winning over Northwestern State 28-7. And this year when I'm doing predictions, I'm going to keep track of how many I get to score right, and I'm also going to keep track of how many wins I predict right. And at the end of the season, we'll see how accurate I am. Next game on my list, South Carolina versus Coastal Carolina. Again, another opener against a cupcake team. I have South Carolina winning 31-3. No problem, should be an easy game for them as long as they stay focused. Although I believe Coastal Carolina has given the SEC teams scares in the past. We'll see how they do. Next game, Kentucky versus Central Michigan. Central Michigan, I think, gave Oregon State an upset last season, so I'd be looking out for them. If Kentucky comes out and plays the way they played last season, I think they'll be okay, and I have Kentucky winning 38-14 over Central Michigan. Next game up, Arkansas versus East Illinois. They should have no problem with this, although I believe they struggled against Coastal Carolina last season. So if they come out and play as an SEC team should against these cupcake teams, I have them winning 35-7 over East Illinois. Next game up, Missouri versus UT Martin. Now I know Missouri's got some new coaches in there, Derek Dooley being one of them. He is their offensive coordinator, if I am right. I believe I am. And I have them winning 28-10 over UT Martin, and we'll see if they can get higher. I believe they can score more than that. I'm just not sure, being the first game of the season. It's kind of hard to predict these things sometimes. Next game up on the list, Florida versus Charleston Southern. This is probably the weakest team I've seen across all the other SEC openers this week. Florida should have no problem with it. I believe they got Dan Mullen as their new coach, and I think he's going to be very good for them this season, and I have Florida winning 49-9 over Charleston Southern. Next game up, number 18 Mississippi State against SF Austin. Another cupcake team. I know there's been a lot of them, and that's typically the move of some SEC teams. As we get later into the list, you'll see that there's some that are actually going to play quality opponents. And I have number 18 Mississippi State winning over SF Austin 31-10. Texas Tech versus Ole Miss next game up. And I believe this is going to be probably one of the more high-scoring games in this list, as of terms of both teams being able to put points up. I think it's going to be a close game. Texas Tech played their SEC opponent last year very close, and I have Texas Tech winning 38-31 over Ole Miss. So now we're getting up into the higher rankings in the SEC. Number 3 Georgia versus Austin Peay. Should be a very easy win for them. They should have no problems there. I have Georgia winning 59-3. Vanderbilt versus MTSU. I think this is going to be another more interesting game. I mean, Vanderbilt can be a very good team at times, and they can also be Vanderbilt. It's in their name. You know, Vanderbilt's not always been very great at football. They beat Tennessee the last 2 years. There's no really telling what's going to happen in this one, in my opinion, because MTSU's had some big upsets in the past couple years in football. So I have MTSU beating Vanderbilt 24-21. Should be an interesting game. Next game up, number 1 Alabama against Louisville. Louisville is not ranked in the top 25 to start this season, and I believe they lost their starting quarterback in the draft. I have Alabama winning with no problem at all, 49-10 over Louisville. Another game I'm really unsure about because there's no telling how it's going to play. Tennessee has a new coach. Don't know much about West Virginia other than the fact that they're ranked number 17. I've heard rumors that their defense is struggling, but I'm not sure if that's true. If it is, I think Tennessee's going to have a bit easier of a day. Don't know much about our offense right now, but I know Pruitt is a defensive guy and should keep the score down. I think this will be a low-scoring game and a close game, and I have Tennessee winning 21-17 over West Virginia for the first upset of the season. Next game, number 25 LSU versus number 8 Miami. This is probably one of the best games you're going to be able to watch this week, and I think it's going to be surprising for the SEC because LSU has struggled so much the past couple years. They lost to Troy last year at home. It was an embarrassing loss for them. And I have Miami absolutely creaming LSU 45-10 in an embarrassing home opener. The final game this week is going to be one that will surprise the Pac-12. Number 9 Auburn against number 6 Washington. This is the same team that beat Alabama last year and just missed out on the college football playoff. And Washington, a couple years back, I believe, were in the college football playoff. And Alabama just absolutely ran through them. I think it's going to be similar. I think Auburn's going to win 42-14 over Washington. And I would like to thank you guys for watching. This series is probably one of my favorite series to record because I'm just such a college football enthusiast. My dream is to be one day maybe a sports broadcaster somewhere. I just love the game of football. And like always, guys, I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.